Welcome to our greatest American art form.
The mixtape.
Now, for all of you kids who don't know,
Traditionally, a mixtape is a homemade compilation of media from multiple sources, recorded into a medium like a CD, a VHS, or cassette tape.
what we are presenting to you here is something we call Mixtape Therapy,
A collection of authentic conversations,
often wacky conversations,
inspired by what inspires us.
except instead of a cassette tape, we are bringing you a podcast
So just as you might share a mixtape, we share these conversations with you.
in the hopes that they spark a similar connection to the good old mixtape.
Now, join us for a little mixtape
for some Mixtape Therapy.
This rug I have, it really tied the room together.
You told Brant on the phone, he told me. Where do I fit in?
They were looking for you, these two guys.
I'll say it again. You told Brant on the phone, he told me. I know what happened, yes, yes.
Oh, so you know that they were trying to piss on your rug?
Did I urinate on your rug?
You mean, did you personally come and pee on my rug?
Hello? Do you speak English, sir? Parla usted inglés? I'll ask you again. Did I urinate on your rug?
No, like I said, woo or peed on my rug.
I just want to understand this, sir. Every time a rug is micturated upon in this fair city, I have to compensate the person.
Come on, man, I'm not trying to scam anybody here. I'm just,
You're just looking for a handout like every other. Are you employed, Mr. Lebowski?
Well, wait, let me explain something to you. I am not Mr. Lebowski. You're Mr. Lebowski. I'm the dude. So that's what you call me, you know?
And then we should be good to go.
We're good to go.
We're good to go. Let's do it live.
Here we are.
Here we are. So good to have you here. Does it feel weird talking on these like in the garage?
It does. It feels weird. I mean, I just walked in the door, and I'm in Texas.
I know you're here.
There's a lot of things that
you're
are
here
weird.
in the garage.
Yes.
Yes. And we are going to talk about the Big Lebowski.
We are going to talk about the Big Lebowski.
All right.
Which, why? Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Drinking our beverages, talking about Big Lebowski.
So, if you haven't joined us in previous episodes, the episode before this, we did The Dude and the Zen Master, which
Correct.
is a book that is written by Jeff Bridges and that guy that wrote the
And
Big
then that guy that wrote that
the poor
book.
guy. Like, well, I'm gonna make sure I put this in like the credits. But that poor guy that helped write the movie, right? They were part of the movie together, right? Or they just do the book?
Did they? I actually don't know. Well, this is a real embarrassment.
Well, you know.
It was
Anyway,
it was the podcast episode that we talked about.
and so on that episode, I had said that I never have seen the Big Lebowski.
Yes.
So we decided that I would watch it and then we'd go back over it.
Yes.
So here we are with a follow-up episode of Mixtape Therapy talking about the Big Lebowski. What are your questions first, Hannah? You go first.
The original source material.
That's
the
right.
original source material. Well, okay. I mean, I know when I first saw The Big Lebowski, I was a teenager. So just by being younger, there are so many factors that made it like, oh my gosh, I've never seen anything this wacky before. Like, this is like such a cool movie. And I watched it with my mom, and the fact that we were able to both watch it and find it hilarious and laugh at it together felt special.
Why do you think that is? What do you think it was about the movie that allowed y'all to connect like that? Because there's not a lot of movies you can watch with your parents. I mean, there
That's
is,
true.
but like not a movie like the Big Lebowski kind of movie, you know?
I think it's absurd. I think there's just an absurdism to that movie that, I don't know. It's so, I think, well, as a movie, it kind of like transcends norms. I would put it in the same category as like Napoleon Dynamite. Like, it's a cult classic. It's one of those movies, like, I don't know why this is so funny and good. It's kind of weird. It's kind of not really about anything, but it's appealing nonetheless, or like it speaks to me in some way.
It's weird that you brought up Napoleon Dynamite, because I would say that those two movies have a very similar thing where, like, in the Big Lebowski, even though you don't know someone exactly like those characters, you know somebody kind of sort of like some of those characters, or you go like, I got weird people like this in my life, right? And Napoleon Dynamite's kind of the same thing.
Do you have people like Napoleon Dynamite in your life?
I'm sure. Like Uncle Rico?
Uncle Rico, yes. Uncle Rico.
But I mean,
yes.
like, okay, well, let's go back to the Big Lebowski. Like, just, you know, like John Goodman's character, right? Just very extreme on every end, and everything's like super intense. I have a friend like that. Do you have a friend like that?
I do. What is it? Someone who's always right. Seldom right, never in doubt. Incredibly self-assured.
Right.
With no justification.
And then that guy always picks on another dude.
Yep.
Which is like, you know, like the way he's always like, fuck you, you know. What's the guy's name?
Donnie.
Fuck you, Johnny. You know?
Donnie.
I've only seen it once, so I can't. But I guess what I'm trying to
Donnie,
say is,
you're out of your element. Is the key? That's the key line.
both those characters are similar to people in my real life, and I wonder if some of these movies that we always call them like quirky and stuff like that, but they just
cult classics.
They're more real to us because the characters are so flawed and so real.
Yeah.
You know, like you think about, like, I can't think of another movie on top of my head, but something you watch and you go, well, that's just unreal. I would never know anybody like that. Or like The Bourne Identity. I don't know anybody that's a spy.
Okay, there you go. That's a good point, right? It's about an ordinary person. In fact, someone who you might even say, I don't want to say subordinary, like as in, yes, right. Normally we're watching movies about people who are like fantastically wealthy or talented or have like really intense special skills. Whereas The Big Lebowski is kind of about an underachiever.
Well, and all the characters are just, maybe that's it. You know, like in movies, sometimes they build the character up.
Yes.
Right. And the character flaw is that, like, you know, he's a murderer, not that like he can't pull his life together. Right. And so in The Big Lebowski, all these characters are just flawed, incredibly flawed. But inside their flaws, you can see how much, you know, the dude likes his friends and like how he's, you know, wants his own peace. And like, it's a lot of stuff that I think that we do like every single day.
It's incredibly relatable.
Super relatable.
Someone's peeing on your rug, the rug that ties the room together. It's really frustrating. It's like, well, no, right? It makes high drama out of things that we ourselves, I think, make high drama out of in our lives.
We do it all the time.
Which is like out of minor inconveniences.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, it's not a minor, I mean, of course, if you've seen the movie, it's not just a minor inconvenience. He has like a bunch of like hitmen come to his door and shove his head in the toilet. But yes, like our fixation on these things, seemingly small things that go wrong in our lives and creating like a huge kind of drama in our minds around it. I think the film does a good job capturing, right? Which is that, like, I mean, the instigating, like the dude's whole motivation for everything he does is wanting to get his rug back.
That's it, though.
His rug.
He's just like, man, I just want to get my rug back.
Yeah, it tied the room together.
It tied the room together.
Okay, anyway, going back to the questions that I have for you.
Okay, go.
Well, and you said, I think my mom and I were able to enjoy it together just because it's funny. And I know that's not, I wish I had a better answer for you. And comedy, like describing why something is funny is really difficult to do.
Yeah, but a lot of times parents and children don't necessarily find the same things funny.
Yes.
And depending on what age you are and stuff like that. So I thought that was really unique that you and your mom both enjoyed it, both found it funny. Y'all both were able to relate to it.
Yes.
And I don't know your mom, but she seems to be like, you know, kind of prim and proper. And
Oh, she's definitely, actually, my mom is not prim and proper.
does she?
She's actually she has a body sense of humor. So it's not that weird that my mom found it funny. But
So maybe it's just weird because I don't know her. You know what I mean?
No.
To think that a parent would enjoy the same movie. My mom doesn't enjoy any movies that I like. You know?
I feel like your mom's prim and proper.
Yes, she is.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I mean, she would.
Would she like The Big Lebowski?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, she'd probably watch it, but she would be like, I don't get it. You know what I mean? That was not the total sidebar of this, but like that was the total problem with me growing up is that I'm this kind of weird art kid. And my mom was very like in the box. You know, she's a school teacher. Everything's in the box. Everything's that makes sense. So when you show up with a bunch of weird stuff or weird thoughts or weird ideas, she's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And so, you know, and I want to see weird movies. She's like, I don't want to see that. You know, and I didn't want to watch it with them because I felt bad. You know?
You don't want to like make them uncomfortable.
Yeah, they're not going to enjoy this.
My mom was a child of the 60s. Like, so my mom was actually like a hippie who, you know, went through that whole revolution and like did drugs and things. So like I think countercultural things are part of my mom's growing up. Like that is kind of the fabric.
That
of
is
her
shocking
past.
to me, by the way.
Is it?
I don't know. I've only probably seen a picture of her, and just knowing you, it's shocking that, you know, she would have this whole. But I mean, that makes sense, right?
Yeah, no, she was a huge.
I had a whole nother life too.
Exactly.
You know?
No, my mom was a huge rebel, and like I think so much of her generation, or the people that she associates with in her generation, is very much this like stoner humor, weird, wacky, out there type of thing. So yeah, I think The Big Lebowski fits pretty well with that milieu. Okay, this is an iconic movie, Scottie. As you were watching it, what was your understanding as to why this movie is such a favorite?
You know, I watched it thinking, man, my 25-year-old self would have loved this movie.
Yeah.
Loved it in a different way.
That was my thought, is that I think I'm like, where you are in life, I'm like, I bet this movie is not going to like super duper land with you.
Well, I grew out of those movies.
Yeah.
Right? And my taste changed and things change and what I'm into's change. And I don't watch a lot of movies just in general, right?
Well, you watch a lot of kids movies now.
I watch a lot of cartoons.
You watch a lot of beautiful cartoons.
Yeah, that's about all I do. I watch that and murder documentaries, and that's it. Just cartoons and murder. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, no, really, I want to know about the murder documentaries.
No, I just watch documentaries. I don't watch necessarily murder. I was trying to be funny, but
Okay,
I
fair.
watch kids stuff and documentaries, and that's it. That's pretty much the whole thing.
Yes.
Or like I'm into Trafficked right now, which is it's a documentary series by this lady named Maria Van Zeller, and she goes to all these crazy places, and she goes over things that are trafficked, like drugs and people and guns, and
Whoa.
and does a whole. Oh, it's so good.
This sounds fascinating.
It was on for 5 seasons. It's already off. It's on Hulu if you want to watch it. Maybe we could do an episode of it. But I find it fascinating because like you just don't imagine what could be trafficked. Like anything you can imagine that could be trafficked. Steroids,
What's the definition of trafficking?
anything that's being moved.
Moved underground.
Moved under the sail, like black market moved under the sail.
Okay.
Anyways, I digress.
We always do.
So also, we had just talked about, I watched it 2 days after we did that episode and after I'd listened to that podcast. So I had a whole different view on it as, you know, they built it up that like the dude in the movie is kind of like this Zen master.
Yes, that he's got like the wisdom.
He's got like the wisdom, right? So now
On
I'm
how to
watching it
live
from this
life.
angle of like, you know, the Zen master, the dude. And so my overall thought that kept coming along was like, you know, just like one kind of like mishap would happen or something else would go wrong or something else would follow up from something else would go wrong. And he'd just be like, "Gah, can this just let up? Can I just get my rug? I just want to get my rug. That's all I want to do." In the end, spoiler, he doesn't get the rug.
Nope.
Right? But he's totally okay. Like he's totally okay that he didn't get the rug, kind of. You know what I mean? Like the movie goes and he's like, you know, I forgot there's some famous lines at the end, but like it's kind of like, well, this is where we at, so I'm just gonna keep moving forward. You know what I mean? And I feel like that a lot. But I think
Don't
that's
get what you want.
But I think that's what a lot of life is, right? A lot of life is like going through things, having anxiety or stress about it or whatever. You make it through it, and hopefully you didn't raise yourself up so high that you crash so hard that you kind of go, okay, well, glad that's over. Hopefully I don't have to do that again, right? And that's the way I felt like that the movie, he was just constantly moving through problems. You know what I mean? You know, his friends being a problem. You know, the ex-wife of that dude or whatever, you know, the whatever it was being a problem. You know what I mean? The guy being a problem. You know, and he just kind of kept moving through them. I don't know. That's what I took away from the movie.
Okay. Wait, so basically not being too ruffled or upset by how life will inevitably not actually give you what you want.
Yeah, like the guy's he spends the whole movie trying to get his rug back
Yes.
and ends up having to do other things
Yes.
just to get the
Gets
rug back,
getting
and none of
derailed.
those work out.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Yes.
he's trying to do life and none of it's working. And his
Correct.
attitude
Ooh, this is
never
relatable.
his attitude never goes really sour. He's just like, come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I just thought that, yeah, like that's it. It's just like,
I think that's why we're so drawn to him, right? Is because he doesn't like his demeanor never shifts very far out of just like being sort of like mildly upset.
well, I did notice when he would like raise his voice,
Yeah.
but it only happened like 2 or 3 times.
Yes.
And he'd be like, come on, just stop it. Like, it was more of like, kind of stop. You know, it wasn't like he was telling the world to stop or he was like feeling sorry for himself. He was just
he tells Walter to calm down.
Yeah.
Just calm down.
just calm down. You know what I mean? And so I think that, I don't know. I think the movie weirdly has like this dual purpose, kind of like the book. It's like the dude and the Zen master. There is the movie about the dude and all the stuff we're talking about and how silly it goes and like all the acts, everything. And then there's the Zen master part of it where throughout that he's relatively steady,
Yeah.
and after one bad thing happens another, and after he tries to make, he's like, well, I could do this, and just keeps falling apart. He doesn't really, falter. He's sad, his emotions go up and down, but they're fairly neutral. And I thought that was really great. I thought it was a really great part of the movie.
What I just realized is this movie is all about loss. And I'm realizing it as you're speaking, right? Okay, quite literally, right? He loses the rug.
Right.
And then at the very end, he loses his friend, right? He loses one of his best friends.
He also never, when he like promised some money.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like he didn't get the money.
No.
That didn't work out.
Like, he loses on a practical level. But it's also it's about actual loss. But then it's also kind of like the nature, and this, I know it sounds dark and depressing. It's not meant to. But at a certain point in life, you get to a place where life turns into letting go of things, right? Like, I think at the beginning of life, there's like achieving things and attaining things and like building stuff up. And at a certain point, doesn't really matter how old you are, life can turns into sort of a series of having to let things go, especially as you get older, or if things go awry or, something happens in your life. But you have to, loss and learning to let go of things progressively is a huge part of life that we don't like to think about and we don't want to have to look at. But I mean, from what you're saying, it's like the dude provides a way of coping with the inevitable loss that all of us are all going to eventually face.
Yeah, I think so as you were saying that, what I was thinking was at the very beginning of your life, you're collecting.
Yeah.
You're collecting memories and thoughts and experiences. You don't have very many. So you're like, I'm going to hold on to all of them, right? Just keep them all, right? And then at some point, that bag gets full.
Yep.
Right? And you have to come to a point where you go, okay, what of these things am I going to let go of? Because I can't hold on to all the memories. I can't hold on to all the thoughts. And I think sometimes we have a tendency to hold on to the wrong stuff. You know what I mean? But when you learn how to kind of like sift through your bag and get rid of the things that you don't need and hold on, there's always going to be more things coming,
Well,
right?
yes, every single day.
Every
there's
single
gonna be
day.
more stuff coming at you.
And you can go, that doesn't go. You have the awareness and the experience to go, that doesn't go in the bag. I don't even have to put it in there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can just go ahead and just throw that away. And hopefully that's all the bad stuff. And hopefully most of the good stuff is what you're putting in the bag. Good experiences, things you learn from.
Valuable things.
Valuable things, right? But like right now, my daughter holds on to every memory she's ever had.
Well, yeah.
Everything I've ever done. She's like, hey, Daddy, do you remember when you did this to me? And I'm like, yeah, I remember.
She's been alive a lot less time, so everything that she's experienced is actually incredibly important and precious.
Exactly. That's what I'm getting at. And so there's a level of the dude. I don't know his life before this movie, but it doesn't seem like it was going like shockingly well. I mean, he seems to be okay with it.
Yes.
But I'm sure this is not the first bad day he's had, and he's learned how to sift through it and just keep moving forward and not let anything get in the way of bowling. You know what I mean?
Which is his purpose.
Which is his purpose. Right? Nothing's going to get in the way of bowling unless Walter's, fucking up or whatever. You know what I mean? Unless someone's causing a problem, he's going to bowl. Right? And that's what's important. Him bowling, And I think that, if we would put our more focus into ourselves, the me of like what we want to be and what we want to do, letting go of some of that other stuff becomes like very easy because you're just kind of like, I don't have time or the energy to hold on to that.
Mm.
You know what I mean? At least for me.
I also think of so much of what happens in the movie. A lot of things happen to the dude. Like, the dude doesn't make things happen. Right? In the movie, it's more like things are happening to him. As I recall.
100%. 100%.
As I recall.
Mm-hmm.
And this, oh man, this kind of has me, this is like such a reduction. But sometimes it really does feel like life is happening to us. Like things are just befalling us and very little is within our control. And so as you are watching this, Scottie, well, let me just ask you this. In your own life, when does it feel like things are just out of your control and just happening to you? Is that something that you experience?
All the time?
Yeah.
I mean, like, all the time, but not in a way of like, oh, everything's happening to me all the time. In a way of like, this is just the way stuff is. Just stuff happens to you. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not taking it personal. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because, okay, can you remember an example? Okay. So this is a really extreme example, but two guys break in his house and pee on his rug.
Yes.
Okay, he didn't ask for.
There's no way to predict that. There's no way to control that happening.
Yeah, and I would equivalent to like a car accident, or maybe a house got broken into, or maybe a car got broken into, or like something like that. Something that's like just really extreme that you can't do anything about. Well, how upset about that do you want to be, and how long do you want to hold on to it?
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I'm trying to think of the last upsetting thing that happened to me. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember I held on to it for about we'll say 24 to 48 hours. And the whole time,
with your truck?
What's that?
Did it have to do with your truck?
It could have. I mean, that'd be a good example. Like when my truck got wrecked, for about 24 to 48 hours, I was like, is this me? Like, can I not drive? Like, blaming myself. Like, why is this happening to me and stuff like that? Excuse me. And then while it's going on, like while I'm having that 24 to 48 hours, I'm like, you're not gonna, like, this isn't even gonna matter in three or 4 days. I'm telling myself that. Let go of it. Like, I'm telling myself, let go of it. And then my brain's just like, well, what about your truck? You know what I mean? Like, it just won't let go. But I
brain
think,
hates to let things go.
But I think me trying to like work through that in the moment kept it to 48 hours instead of like a week, or bother me today, or, like things like that. And so when stuff comes up that makes me like just feel really uncomfortable, like I have a colonoscopy coming up.
Whoa, is it your first one?
Yeah, first colonoscopy. Thank you. First colonoscopy.
This is a huge life milestone.
Yeah, I mean, like, apparently,
Yes.
but here's the deal. Is like, I keep trying to read the instructions and I kind of don't understand it. And then like, they were like, you're getting different instructions. I don't even know if I got that email. I don't know which email is one. I'm looking at this jug that I got to like drink all this stuff.
You have to drink a lot of
and
stuff.
all the things. And it's super overwhelming because like, it's not kind of making sense. You know what I mean? It's not straightforward. And yesterday, like, I was like, okay, I'm going to tackle this. And I got about 5 minutes into it, and I was like, oh, fuck this. I can't read. Like, this is so, I can't do this right now.
Mm.
And so then I was making myself feel bad for not doing it right then. Or like, what, you can't read? Like, take your time. Like, be patient. What are you doing? And I go, make time tomorrow to just sit down and give it the attention it deserves instead of trying to half-ass it during this other time, right? And when I did that, when I gave myself a date to come back to it, my anxiety probably went down like 50%.
Yeah.
And then today, like it's down. I still don't know what I'm doing. I read it. I read all the stuff. I still don't know. But I'm more confident that I'll figure it out, right? And that's how like everything kind of is for me. You know what I mean? Like even in relationships, like like me and Aaron got into an argument, a discussion about something that wasn't pleasant, and for about like 24 hours, I was like, well, I feel like crap, but I also knew like I don't want to be with anybody else. I don't plan on being with anybody else. I don't want to be anywhere else. So time will solve some of this.
Yes.
And hopefully time will also give me perspective and her perspective about how we can be better moving forward. Right? You know what I mean? And even though that's an uncomfortable thing, I have to really lean into understanding this too shall pass. I hate that saying, by the way, just real quick. I hate this.
Why do you hate it? Okay.
You know
why
why?
do you hate it?
Because it sounds so cliche and just insulting to someone that cannot get past something. It's like,
yes, I've been hearing a lot of this too shall pass for what I'm going through right now, and I'm like, I hope so.
It's true.
Yeah.
But
is it?
It is. It'll pass. But how it is with you once it passes, I think is really up to you.
Yeah.
How do you settle in with it once it's kind of done? Like my divorce.
Yes. Okay.
Like, how did I settle into it after it was done? You know what I mean? And how did I process it, and how do I view it now that it's done? And I think going back to the movie, the dude does that. He kind of works through all this stuff, and it's kind of done. He's like, I'd like to have my carpet back. But also at the end of the movie, when his friend dies, he's not like, well, and I lost my carpet.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like he's like, oh, there's a new like big problem that's more concerning to me. I lost my friend.
Well, and something about the movie too is it's not like, oh, he's better off. It's not like, oh, there was some like silver lining, or like, oh, him losing the rug turned out to be this great thing. It's like the thing that makes him okay is just how he's looking at his life. It's just who he is.
It's very, in this weird way, he's a minimalist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
He's it's very simple.
He is a minimalist.
And life is simple. It's like, hey, you peed on my rug, and so I want you to fix my rug.
Yes.
Like that's it. Like I'm not asking
he is
for
a man of very few interests.
Right. I'm not asking for a bunch of money. I just want my rug. You know what I mean? Or I just I think that we personally make our lives so much bigger and so much more whatever than we do that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And some of that's like really good. Like, obviously the way you make your life better and the things you do to make yourself feel better are really good. But the other grandioso stuff we do, the things we think we need, or the things we think we need to do, the things way we think need to be when something happens and all all that stuff is like, it's to me, it's simpler than that. Do you know what I mean? Because I keep telling myself, no matter what I do, it's how I show up. That's it.
Yes.
So like, we were talking before we started, we were talking about like stand up and like how nerve wracking it's been, and writing and like trying to get on stage and like all that kind of stuff. It's all about how I show up. So when I go to those classes, even though like I'm really nervous and all this stuff is going on, I try to show up for the people that are there. I try to clap for them. I make sure like, hey, you did a really good job. I try to give positive feedback about the stuff that they do and try not to be too negative, because I know that the way I show up to support them, even if that's not their intention, it's like a fever. You know what I mean? At least for me. And I feel like, sometimes people
it's catchy.
It's catchy, and
and it's also all you have control over, right? I mean, I think there's sort of I think in some of the psychology ether, there's so much that says, like everything that happens in your life is like something that you kind of caused, or you're responsible for everything that has happened to you, anything that you're experiencing. It's because it's like it is like you are at cause. And I'm just not sure that I believe that fully. Like, I think there are so many things that happen that are outside of our control. I don't think that we are in control of necessarily the twists and turns that our life takes. On one level, right? But like, to your point, Scottie, I think as we get older and as we mature, I think what we learn is like what we have control over isn't so much like how our life plays out in terms of a plot, but in terms of how we perceive it, how we treat it, and how we take advantage of like those small windows in which we do have a choice. And I think a lot of that has to do with like attitude, perspective, and how you show up.
I just had this thought, and I think there's a song. Isn't there a song that says like life's like a river or something like that? Anyway, life's like a river, right? In the sense of the direction it's going, you're going to go in that. If the river flows kind of one way, and you're going to go in that direction,
Yeah.
right? And it's going to keep flowing no matter what you're doing. Like even if you're swimming against it, it's going to keep flowing.
And I think like overall, right? I think culturally we used to accept more that like we're not the ones that are running the show. I think that used to be like more I think because as a society or as human beings we used to be more faith-based or right, like we just didn't think that we as human beings were like the rulers of the universe. I think we kind of generally accepted that there was like something else kind of running the show. And nowadays in like pop psychology, there's a lot more emphasis on like the individual or you yourself are the one that is like in control of every single thing that like happens in your life. There's been sort of this shift away from this feeling of like, no, life is an inevitable force that's like going to do what it's going to do. And your job is to kind of
Well, so in this scenario,
step up to the plate.
In this scenario, the river is the inevitable force, but how you go down that river is really up to you. You can run into every rock and log all the way down, or you can dodge and weave. You might hit a couple of them. You know what I mean? But I just think that people spend a lot of time swimming against the current and like just like building the perfect boat or like, you know, doing all the things that you can't control other than the simple things you can control when you go down the river, which is like don't hit the branches and don't hit the rocks kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's about it. Everything else is nuanced. You know, we talked about this a little bit. Like, is God in control, or is there free will? And I think that, you know, our path is pretty much planned, but like how you get there, what kind of car you want to take there is up to you. You know, and I don't think the universe or God really cares. I don't think he cares what kind of car you take. I don't think he cares how you get there. He's like, I know you're going to get there. I know where the ending is, but like how you get there is really up to you. How much you want to fight me on this is really up to you. And for me, as an example, going back to the comedy class or an example of as the dude, the way I show up or the way the dude shows up impacts those other people around him. You know, he's like, hey, just settle down. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like he's showing up as that calm force aligned with the universe, you know? And that's what I kind of try to do. I try to be aligned because if I'm aligned with the universe, then I'm aligned with something bigger than me. And if I'm aligned with something bigger than me, hopefully, more than likely, there's more people on this side than there are the other side. So hopefully I can have the influence to help you be aligned with the universe because I am, right? The example you said, what would Jesus do? Not act like an asshole, I'll tell you that much, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how you show up is what Jesus would do. I mean, you know, how you show up is how you align with the universe and how well things like go for you. Let me ask you this. Do you think that the dude was aligned with the universe?
And I think I know what you mean. When you say aligned with the universe, do you mean like, was he in acceptance? Was he radically accepting life on life's terms?
Was he fighting the universe hard? No.
And I think what's interesting about that is there is a whole sector of the population or sector of thought that would be very critical of the dude for like, he's not doing enough to stand up for himself, or he's not, he's not taking action. He's lazy. He's all these types of things, right? Well, and that's kind of like what his character. He's like this slacker stoner, whatever. That's his whole character. And when it comes to the plot and the antagonists, he's not like really fiercely fighting against the antagonists either. He's kind of just like moving with it and staying as calm as he possibly can. Excuse me. So in that way, I'm like, yeah, he doesn't put up a huge fight. And whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, it's kind of like up to the viewer to decide.
I'm trying to get really good at doing nothing.
Ooh, I know, because I was just going to ask you, Scottie, I'm like, is not putting up a fight a good thing? I know there's so many people who would be like, no, you got to put up a fight. Like, you got to fight against these things that are happening, or you have to like make a stand. And there's a time, I know there's a time and a place for that. But
I'll give you an example.
yes, tell me about doing nothing.
I got ran off the road by a dude.
Oh man.
I was in California on my podcast tour, and I was driving a Mitsubishi Mirage, which apparently was named after the fact that you can't see it because it was so little. This dude ran me off the road, right? Everyone I told that story to said, well, what did you do? Did you shoot the finger at him? Did you chase him down? Did you run up beside him? Did you yell at him or scream at him? And I go, I didn't do nothing.
Yeah.
I go, I felt lucky to be alive to start off with. He ran me off the road. It was scary, right? And I got back on the highway, and I was just like, well, that sucked. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't want to die today. I'm glad I didn't. But I didn't like chase him down. I didn't give him my other friend he was in the car in front of me. He gave him the finger for me, he said, right?
Yep.
So, but like, I never felt the need to get even, because what if that whole thing was an accident? What if he just didn't see me? You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he saw me and was like, I'm going to run this Mitsubishi Mirage off the road. You know, screw those kinds of cars, right? I don't think it was that. So it was probably an accident. So I didn't do anything. But there's a lot of times in my life where something will happen, and I'll tell a similar story, and people go, well, what'd you do? Like, I didn't do anything. Like, what do you mean, what did I do? Like, somebody canceled my podcast. Well, what'd you do? Did you tell them that was not okay? I was like, no, I didn't tell them that wasn't okay. I just let them cancel.
Yes.
They should know it's not okay.
I know. Well, and like a lot of people do think, right, that being, right, like being that friction or providing that pushback is an important thing. And I do believe that, right? Like, I do believe there is a place for that. But I'm also kind of, right now, I'm trusting you as my elder. I'm trying.
Back in my day, when we used to have to put the horses on the front of the cart just to go somewhere.
No, for real. Because when I, like, the people in my head that I have who are talking about, like, yeah, I know you have to really, like, stand up and, like, push back and all these things, it's generally people who are younger saying that. And so I am kind of deferring to your wisdom right now as someone who's older than me, but also a parent. And has lived more, you've just been through more life things than I have.
20 years of that shit.
Yeah, exactly. So tell me why you are in this place where doing nothing, as you say, even though doing nothing is not doing nothing, but tell me why that feels important to you.
Because in those moments, doing something is a complete waste of time, and it's not going to fix anything, and it's a waste of my energy to put it towards that. I'd rather put it towards solving the issue of why I'm so upset, or whatever impact it had on whatever the situation had on me. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm more interested in that, like taking care of like me. I was trying to think of another example. When something bad happens to me, okay, a lot of bad things are happening to the dude.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Undeniably.
When yeah, when those kinds of bad things happen to me, I very much feel the dude. He's just like, oh, like another thing, you know. But at the same time, like, we'll say that guy ran me off the road and I chased him down. What am I gonna do after that? What am I doing with that? And I just put 10, 20 minutes of negative energy into someone that, like, and you get there and he's like, oh man, I just didn't see you. You're like, okay, fine. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't see me. Okay, I guess it's okay. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Like, what did that do? And so then I just started applying it everywhere. I had this epiphany about our new cat.
Oh, who's very cute.
It's an adorable cat. Cat's awesome.
That Scottie is not stoked about.
But
fully on board with.
Let me say,
you're not fully on board with the cat.
No, I'm fully on board with the cat. But the cat likes to jump like all over the counters and like all this stuff. And Aaron was like, we should get like a squirt bottle. So you know what? And I was kind of like, no, we should just learn to be more patient with the cat. And when the cat gets up there, get him down, you know, and like treat him with like the caring, loving that I wouldn't want to be shot with a squirt bottle, you know. I would want to be.
This is amazing.
That's
that is typical cat training.
But I, you know, I understand why. But I feel like that the squirt bottle is for us because we're impatient. We don't like it. We don't like the cat understands. So then we're just going to squirt his ass. And I would, you know, look, I helped him off the counter in the bathroom today 14 times. Okay, 14 times this cat jumped up there, and 14 times I picked his ass up and put him back on the floor. Right, and every time I was like, "Come on, man." We've already gone through this 13 times. But I feel like that's a better bond with me and the cat than me shooting with a water bottle, right? So how do I apply this? I feel like that
this
about
is lovely.
I feel like that. Well, I feel like that about everybody, right? I feel like that about every scenario, or I try to go, even when it feels like something's happening to me intentionally, that it's not really happening to me intentionally. You know what I mean? It's just happening around me, or like to me, but it's not to me.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I don't know. I think it just came from wasting so much time and energy into stuff that doesn't really produce anything. You know, go ahead.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of what you're talking about too sounds like it just sounds like it's not giving into anger.
Yeah,
or aggression.
Well, I mean, but I'm upset.
Yes.
And I'm angry, I guess. But I'm not like angry. I'm just angry. Yeah. It's like I'm not acting out that emotion. It's like I'm happy. I'm angry. Like like externally, I want to kind of hold similar spaces, even though you really can't, because you can't hide things on your face. You know what I mean? But I want to hold similar spaces just for the emotion to work through it. Like, you know, I'm gonna say working through you're happy, but like, oh, I'm enjoying being happy, right? I'm not enjoying being angry, but like this is part of the process of like working through it. You know?
Yeah, this is where I want to be a fly on the wall of your life and see what it looks like.
Like if I'm really doing this.
No, but to see what it looks like when you, because obviously I don't see you upset that often. I only see you in your like podcasting self, which is usually like a pretty lovely version of you.
Thank you.
But it sounds like what you're saying is that your behavior remains consistent no matter how you're feeling.
I try.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I don't want to put my bullshit on other people, right? And when you wear your emotions externally, and there are other people around, you know, it's gonna. It's not my fault it impacts them. They have to be responsible for themselves. But like, sure. I don't want to throw that extra stuff out there.
Right.
You know what I mean? That doesn't help me or help them. So, you know.
Well, you don't want to inflict. Yeah, it's like you don't want to inflict it on them. It's one thing to share your emotions, right? Or to share how you're feeling. But you are not wanting to cope with your emotions externally by inflicting them upon someone else.
Yeah, because ultimately, if I'm upset about something, I'm probably just not getting what I need. like something is not going right for me.
Right.
Right. And if I inflict stuff on other people or other situations or other things or the cat, I'm ultimately judging the cat for like doing something that has nothing to do with me. Or I'm
The cat's just doing the cat
the
thing.
cat's just doing cat things,
Cats
right?
get on counters.
And
This is a big argument my ex and I used to get into because I also wouldn't like squirt the cats or like train them in this certain way. First of all, training cats is really difficult. I don't even know if it's possible. Some people might say that it is possible. But he wanted me to be like harder on the cats or like more like vigilant with like stopping them doing their cat thing. But it's like, nah, they're kind of just gonna like, this is sort of like the deal. Like if you have cats, this is sort of,
that's what cats do.
this is the deal. If you have these things in your home, you're gonna have to like kind of put up with certain inconveniences because that's kind of who they are. That's what happens. And I think there's often this like illusion, right, that if we just try harder or if we just do certain things, like we can bend things to our will, including other living beings, be it cats or people. And you can do that for a little while. You can kind of get people or animals to do what you want for a little while, but
I don't know. I would challenge that even.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think things can flow together for a little while.
Right.
People can be on the same page. Like when I talk about being like,
Well, you can scare someone into doing what you want them to do.
yeah, but who wants to, like, you don't want to do that.
Right. I mean, some people might.
Well, okay. I mean, this is from, since I'm always on nonviolent communication stuff. Do you want someone to do something because you made them or because they want to? Right? Like, I don't want to ever make someone do something. I want to make somebody do something.
Mm.
I would like to encourage them and give them the space they feel like they want to do it.
Right.
Like for me or for themselves.
Well, that's ideal.
Right. I mean, that's ultimately it is, because anytime you make somebody do something, they're ultimately not making the choice.
Yes.
They're doing it under protest or distress, right? And I don't want that. I don't want anybody to do anything in my life under protest and stress, because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably not going to do it for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I have. But like, then you're making me. And do you really want that? Do you really want, you know what I mean? Do you really want to make me do something? And then, you know what I'm saying?
It's the worst feeling in the world if you're making someone do something. Although there are people out there who I don't think care.
Let's do this example, because I think this is really good. In the process of us recording this podcast, have I ever made you record?
No.
Have I waited long times for you to record again? No, I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying in a way of, I didn't want to make you.
True.
I only want you to do it when you want to do it.
Oh, we've talked about this so many times, but it bears repeating. The podcast, Scottie, not usually, 99.9% of the time being the leader here in terms of consistency. And the different types of wanting, right? Wanting a candy bar. Everyone wants a candy bar. That's a certain type of wanting. But then there's the wanting like, my body is maybe rebelling against this. There are barriers inside of me telling me no, but there's this other source, or there's this other part of me that knows that I am the type of person who wants to show up for this thing, or wants to kind of transcend beyond my own resistance in order to do this thing that I know is important.
100%. And so I try, in this example, I try to always make this as inviting and easy.
It is easy and inviting.
Yeah, right. Because I want you to want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to want it. And like, I can't make you want it, and I can't do things to make you want it. All I can do is give you the space and the grace and the time and the encouragement and all that stuff that, like, this will be good. Yeah, that's it. You know what I mean? That's all I can do. It's the same thing with your kids, by the way. You can't make, I mean, you can, but like, I have much better relationship with my daughter when I get to ask her to do things for me instead of making her do things. Or if she feels like I'm making her do stuff, I tell her why I'm making her do it. And a lot of times it's like brush your teeth. And she's like, I don't want to. And I'm like, well, you need to do it. And she's like, I don't want to. I'm like, well, you need to brush your teeth or we're not watching cartoons. So I'm essentially making her.
Yes.
But I'm not making her because I'm trying to get my way, per se. I want her to brush her teeth because she doesn't know these things yet.
Yes.
And guess
That's
what?
your whole job.
And guess what? Now she brushes her teeth automatically. Like she'll just brush her teeth and be like, oh, I'm ready to watch my cartoon now. You know what I mean? Because I didn't make her. I kept asking, and every time she gave me a rebuttal, I was just like, "Can you please do this for me? We have to do this before we go to bed. I would like to do this now. We can watch the cartoon now." You know, I just kept asking with, encouragement and kindness. But it takes patience. Like
it's a lot of effort on your end.
That took like 5 or 6 times of me asking. And like a lot of parents would be like, I shouldn't have to ask 5 or 6 times. I shouldn't have to get this cat off the counter 13 times. I shouldn't have to, but I am. You know what I mean? And what else am I doing?
Well, and that's okay. Then my question for you, Scottie, right? Even using the podcast as the meta example, yes, you do make this so inviting. I need to restate that because the way that you lay the foundation and the way that you set things up, recording the podcast it's pretty close to a candy bar, right? You make it so like you make it inviting and warm and fun and easy and like desirable. But that's also a lot of work on your end to make that a positive experience. Why not?
Well, because I want it. So if I want something, what are you willing to do to get what you want? Right? And I've had this conversation with people where they look at me like, well, you're being sneaky, like you're doing all these things so people will do stuff with you. And I'm like,
what?
Well,
Who says that?
like I'm coercing, like I'm buttering someone up to do something with me, but that would still be me making them. That would be me making them, right? I just set it up in a way that's inviting that you want to come to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're like making a cottage and like putting a fire and baking some cookies. Who doesn't want to come in?
But some people view that as, well, you're trying to trick me. You're trying to coerce me into doing this. And it's like, no, you just want to. Like you.
And we've talked about this before. There is a fair amount of skepticism around that. I think because it is rare. I think it's rare that people are so kind and inviting and like you said, like making things easy on other people without there being some kind of other like gain. And of course you gain something from it, right? You enjoy podcasting, you enjoy talking to people, you enjoy doing all these things. But I think it's hard for people to believe there's not some like more sinister motive.
Well,
because it is rare.
Let's spin this all the way back around to the dude.
Yeah, we got to come back to the dude, of course, as usual.
The dude is showing up as himself, being present, and trying to like handle every single thing like as it comes, right? But every time everything goes bad, he's not blaming Walter or the other. He's not blaming anybody. He's just like, this is my rug, like whatever, right? And I'll tell you a quick story. I went to drop off some stuff at Goodwill, and there was a line. And I was like, I don't know why these people are in line. Like, just take the stuff up to the door. Like, if you've ever dropped anything off at Goodwill, you just pull up, drop stuff off the door, right? And there was like 2 cars in front of me. So I just got out of my truck with my box and walked to the door. And the guy goes, you got to wait in line. And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, I was like, okay, no problem. I didn't know. And it was a real like, he's like, you got to wait in line, like kind of aggressive, right?
Yeah.
So when it was finally my turn, I got out. I go, here you go. He goes, oh, thanks. You need a receipt? I'm like, no, man. Like, I was like, have a great day. Like, thank you. Have a great day. He's like, oh, yeah. Like, thank you. I think he totally expected me to jump out of the truck and be like, here's your box, motherfucker. Right? And I didn't. So he didn't even know what to do with that emotion. So I say all that to say about the dude. If you want to experience more of that in your life, you have to be that person.
To disarm people with your own kindness.
with the same stuff that you're carrying around. And instead of going like, hey, I see you're carrying that heavy load. Let me just give you something to carry as well. You're like, hey, I see you that heavy load. You know, my backpack's pretty light. Let me take that for you. Mm. And then maybe they go, wow, this is amazing. Maybe I could take somebody's backpack. You know, but like you have to start that circle because you are the main character and you are the dude in your movie. You are the guy influencing all your friends. You are the guy showing up trying to be the best version of yourself. Ultimately is what he's kind of trying to do. Like that's you. So if it's not happening to you, you start being it. And then see how like stuff changes. Cause I don't know if you said this, but you were like, maybe you said like, how do you do that? Or it's rare. Let me tell you something. It is rare.
Yeah.
But when people do it for me, I have I'm a lot more grateful. I acknowledge it. Whereas like maybe if I was in a worse place, I'd be like, well, about some time somebody did something nice for me or whatever it is. Right. And I give it, they're giving it to me. I'm probably going to give it back to them. They're going to go give it to other people. I'm going to feel better about it. So, if you're looking to solve your problems, they're inside you. You know what I mean? So start with you. Start with changing you. And maybe that's why I don't get upset about stuff. Maybe that's why this has all changed for me. Maybe that's why like I feel this way.
The internal work that Scottie has done.
We'll have to save that for another episode. If you have something that's mixtape therapy for you,
which way are we looking?
You're looking this way, Hannah. If you have something that's mixtape therapy for you, you let us know.
Definitely let us know.
We'll see you next time, Hannah.
Yes, we will.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.